One of the most common types of loans that people get is a specific loan called a mortgage. And a mortgage is specifically a loan that you get to buy a house. It has some very specific conditions. It must be to buy a house and nothing else. There's a limit for how long the mortgage can be. Currently in Canada, that's 25 years is the longest you can spread it out. The advantage to spreading out a mortgage over a long time is your monthly payments get smaller. The disadvantage is you pay a lot more in interest since the bank will be loaning you that money for longer. Mortgages also have a down payment that is required, which means you need to have cash in your bank account in order to buy this house. The minimum that you need in Canada right now is 5%. Banks are free to say that you need 10 or 20% as well, but you must absolutely have 5%, and then they negotiate the conditions based off of that. So Jose has been told by his bank he needs a 10% down payment on the purchase price of this house at $225,000. They give him a mortgage for the balance at 3.75% compounded semi-annually, term of 20 years, and monthly payments. Now, some mortgages are paid bi-weekly or every 2 weeks. Advantage to that is if your paycheck comes every 2 weeks, you can schedule it so your mortgage payment comes the next day. If you get paid monthly, you can make monthly payments, etc. So question A, how much will each payment be? Well, what we know is that Jose, with this 10% down payment, is not taking a loan for the full $225,000. He is only taking a loan for a part of that. So we need to first work out his down payment, which will be the $225,000 purchase price times 0.10 for 10%. Working that out leaves Jose with a down payment of $22,500, meaning he needs to have that much money in his bank account before the bank will consider giving him a mortgage. This allows us to find the actual loan amount, which would be the $225,000 purchase price of the house minus the $22,500 that Jose needs to have in his account, meaning the loan itself will be for $202,500. That in the calculator is the PV. We know they've offered him an interest rate of 3.75%. That is our interest here. Again, in the calculator, we do not need to change that to a decimal. We are compounded semi-annually. That would mean twice a year, so compounds per year down at the bottom would be 2. A term of 20 years, I'm going to skip that for a second. We know we have monthly mortgage payments, means our payments per year will be 12. So that is good as the default. N is the other thing that we have been given but not explicitly. N in this calculator app is the total number of payments to be made. We're not making 20 payments. We're not making 12 payments. We are making 12 payments every year for 20 years. So our total number of payments is our 12 per year times 20 years, meaning we have 240 payments being made. The last two things to look at in the calculator, PMT, the amount of each payment we do not know. That's what question A is asking us. FV, the final value of this mortgage, will be 0 because he will pay the entire thing off. So we can go back to the calculator app, and once again it is the same whether it's the phone app or the handheld. We access it by pressing apps, we go to finance, and TVM solver. Replace everything with what we need for this question. Make sure it matches. Press second mode to quit out. Go back to the apps, go back to finance, and we are trying to find how much each payment will be. That is option 2 on my screen, TVM PMT. Bring that up on the calculator, hit enter to calculate, and again we do get a negative, which is perfectly fine. That just means we are paying money out. So the value of each payment that Jose will be making will be $1,197.55. Question B is asking for how much interest will Jose end up paying by the time he's paid off the loan in 20 years. Well, as we've dealt with before, the amount of interest is the difference between what is total paid back minus what is borrowed. Well, we know that Jose borrowed $202,500. We do not know how much Jose paid back. He paid back $1,197.55 each month, but we don't know the total that he paid back. So Jose's total payments, the total that he's paid, would be that $1,197.55 multiplied by the number of payments that he made, and he made 240 payments on this mortgage. Working that out means his total payments to this bank are $287,412. So now that we know that, we can calculate the amount of interest that he paid to the bank. Subtract those and we get $84,912. That might seem like a lot of interest, and indeed it is. Some people would say, why would you even bother borrowing money if you have to pay $85,000 in interest? Well, the typical response is, who has $225,000 sitting around to buy a house without getting a mortgage? So yes, there is a lot of interest paid, but in many ways this is the only way to buy a house. Question C, how much will Jose pay altogether? Well, it's not just the $287,000 that Jose paid back to the bank. Jose also had to use some of his own money as a down payment before this. So his total paid would be the $22,500 down payment plus the money that he paid to the bank of $287,412. Means that in the end, Jose will have paid $309,912 for this house.